So when you actually look at it, 10 cubic yards is not much at all. So my concern is buying something that small and end up having the brush piled up on us because we're not, and you're gonna have someone that basically gonna be burning part-time. So my concern is, you buy this machine that's 100,000, and we end up backing up because we bought something too small.
Part of what we're gonna do this year is in the transition period. I mean, this is not gonna happen once we get the machine, we're just gonna just cut ties with the current, no, to your point, I wanna see how this is gonna work. I can't go and say, hey, we're gonna burn however many tons a day, or, because we don't have a machine, one. Two is again, part of that is quite frankly, I don't know how many tons our current vendors move. If you ask me how many tons he moves on a monthly or quarterly basis, because we don't measure in tonnage, it's hard for me to determine that. And then, as you know, brush is a bulky material, meaning you try to put that in a compactor, unless you try to put that in a bin, it's hard to measure. I mean, it really is a lot less lighter than your average garbage and waste disposal. So, yes, you have to move that material, but to me, this is my assumption, council member, I'm not an expert in this, but part of the expense of the contractor that's currently doing that job is his labor, meaning he's gotta move all of that material. It may not weigh a lot, but he's moving it somewhere, and that's his labor cost.
Correct.
That's,
Now, let me ask you this, have we considered, how long is this grant for?
I believe it's, Ms. Moran,
How long is the grant for?
Yeah.
This is a one-time purchase and,
Yeah, but
This
how
was-
long is it good for?
Yeah, when can we purchase it?
you can purchase it and we have to complete it by, 2025.
Okay. Is it possible to rent such a machine of this size and try it out and see, okay, it is feasible enough to go out there and purchase it, rather than making $100,000 investment, and then find out, you know what, we made a mistake, we bought something too small, we need something bigger, or it just has too much problems, we always gotta fix the nozzles, we always gotta fix the fuel.
I don't know of anybody that has a rental. I'm saying that, I don't believe that I'm aware of anybody.
Or maybe they could bring you out a demo, I'm sure
Mayor,
that,
Pro Tem, I understand too, it's 82,000, we got a 40,000 grant, it cost us 40,000.
It's costing us.
I understand.
It's still a lot of money.
Yes,
Still a lot of
and I'm not concerned about the money. My main concern is
Does it work?
purchasing it and then it not working as we think it's going to work.
I will say this again, I do know that Castro has a burner. I do know that for a fact. 'Cause they-
So if we know that as fact, then why don't we
I do
reach
know-
out? What do they have?
It's a different type.
It's a different type, and there is a limitation, to your point, but again, part of what they purchased, does it, and I don't wanna speak, because they did it as part of the grant, that's where I got the idea, is they requested money for a grant for a burner. So part of what they're dealing with, similar to what we're dealing with, is we got all this brush, what are we gonna do with it? And we keep paying somebody $27,000-$30,000 a year to move it on a yearly basis. I don't know, that to me, when I look at it from that perspective, I'm thinking, we're paying, in 3 years, you're paying almost $100,000. And so with that, that's where it gets a bit challenging, because it's gonna be a reoccurring cost that ultimately, the ratepayer's gonna.
Councilwoman Trevino.
Yeah, and I totally understand what he's saying, because it's like, we purchased that patch, hole, whatever truck, where is it? And that was a lot.
You've got a great point, and we had a similar experience with our meters that have been, and so that's in the millions, and we're still paying for it.
Yep.
So there is, understand, one thing I do think about is the cost of this compared to those. That was a big disappointment. That was probably $700,000 or $800,000, just still sitting there today, not very functional for us.
200 and something thousand.
It was 200 something.
Yeah, but nonetheless, it was a big expense. We're talking about a lot, but in 2 years it could pay for itself. I mean, it could.
It could pay for itself if it properly works. If it doesn't properly work, we might still be paying the vendor and 40,000.
So
Let me give you some sorry, Mayor. Let me give you some examples of some of the uses that the T-24 has been used for. It's been used by farmers for big land clearances. It's used by FEMA when they have the hurricanes and they mobilize, and you have to demolish all those substandard homes, and you have all these big piles. That little machine is the one that they use. It's been, EPA has approved the use of this one. This is the most cost feasible for our use, because I believe the second
Oh,
page
they're
may
expensive.
show what your next cost would be if you go up to the second one.
They're
It
expensive.
goes up.
Anything like that.
Secondly, we were approached by, this is a sole source because they have the patent on this, the company that sells it, Air Curtains Inc. The prices will go up coming the first of the year. So we wanted to go ahead and try to, since we had written the grant last year, we put it in this year's budget for the purchase, but the price will be going up. And, I'm trying to think of other uses that it's been used for. But if you consider when a storm hits or a hurricane and they use this type of machine to go into communities and do all the cleanups and burn wood and brush and all that, that's what that machine does.
Council, yes, Councilwoman.
So, like, I mean, there's not like reviews or something that we could look at, or
Yes.
could we possibly send somebody to, what did y'all say, Castroville? Or
Castroville
what-
has a very different
It's a
one.
different one?
It's
Okay,
a, I think
so
that one does
maybe
burn the
Austin?
chips.
Oh, okay,
I will
but
say-
could we send somebody to Austin to go over there and check it out and actually talk to the people that work with it? Because I'm thinking like James, it's like, I mean, it sounds great, but so did the,
Well,
No.
Council, if you'd like, I mean, we could table it tonight and look at it
Mhm.
September 3rd or September 10th
When does
again.
the
I mean,
rest go?
I'll have to double check, but it could be coming around September or so when the price may go up.
As far as
I
reviews,
think
we've
it's
done
in
some
the,
analysis.
package here.
We can look at some of the,
We can certainly bring back some references from other communities. I will talk to the representative to see if they can give us a city or somewhere where maybe we can go check it out or test it.
part of what the bigger communities, I'll share this because anything, I don't know if you know this, but most outdoor burning is illegal.
yeah.
It's illegal.
Mhm.
Can't do it. Not supposed to, particularly in cities. But you can't do it. So it makes it really tough when these regulations come in. TCQ comes and has these regulations saying that we can't do X, Y, or Z as it relates to air, to burning. For us, and what we're trying to get of is quite frankly, we have to be creative, particularly in the rural areas. I don't have the luxury of going to San Antonio to dispose of this brush. There is not a landfill that's close by, so I have to say, okay, what do we do with this brush? Quite frankly, it's like, do we keep allowing and let it build up like we did however many years ago? I won't get into that. Or do we say, hey, we have to take a risk and a chance and say, and I get what you're saying, but in saying that, I even, on my end, I'm saying, do I wanna continue to pay $25,000, $30,000 a year to continue to provide the service? Now, you can do that, but that's the other alternative, is right now, we're paying somebody to dispose of this brush for us, because we don't have a landfill here to haul this brush. And as y'all know, we've had a brush, I hate to call it a problem, but it's been a reoccurring, okay, the county has the same problem. What do they do with their brush, and where are they gonna take it? I know they have a place as well. So there's things that we all deal with, and the challenge for us as a rural community is, we just don't have a place. We just don't have, I wish I had a landfill that was 5 or 10 miles away, but we don't.
So how often does Mr. Montes go out there?
It's once a year, quarterly.
So it'll sit
He
there.
bills
This
quarterly.
is-
When I first came to work here, Mr. Reyes took me around town, and I was a little surprised by the pile that's right behind that sports complex that had this brush, that's where we're taking all that brush.
That's
Yeah.
nothing.
I mean, I was like, we're right here by the sports complex where kids come, and there's this brush and tires, and it's almost like an illegal dump site for the city. But the other thing I wanted to let y'all know is that I have done some extensive research when I wrote this grant, so I do have a lot of that, information available, and then I can also reach out to, the sales representative to see if we can, get some references from other communities that have that same machine. And then I can also bring you that research that I have.
Well, the
That's
duty's
part
gonna
of
be
it.
performed every day instead of working, so
No,
that's
yeah.
great.
The other thing is, again, this is a TCEQ, we have to get an air permit, so there are some restrictions, to try to answer, Mayor Pro Tem's questions. We can't just burn and burn and burn, we're gonna have to follow some of those requirements as well. But this, it has been, EPA has approved this, and, that person, the cost includes, training and being certified in it as well.
Council, I have a motion and second. Is there, do you have a pleasure of the direction you'd like to take this?
I mean, this just seems, I mean, looking at a video of this, it just looks kind of small. It just looks like for farmers, it's great. I've seen some of these, but bigger in San Antonio when they're doing land clearing, that look kind of like containers, like
Yes.
20-foot containers, the 40-foot containers. I've seen those.
Those run in the 100 or 200,000.
No, Temo, no, no
Yeah.
tenemos.
Yeah,
And that's
there,
what I'm saying.
No,
there
I
are
don't
some,
understand, but
some
like I
cost
said, my concern
estimates.
is just that, too small. I mean, I think if this was so great that the city of San Antonio would have this rather than chippers.
No, what they have, again, the benefit they have is they have land. We don't have.
No, they just chip that stuff away, and people go pick it.
Yeah, but they don't have it because they don't allow that type of burning in the city limits, but anyway.
Okay, well,
But yeah,
council, we have,
personally, I would say, let's table it and bring it back with more information, or whatever the council
we
wants to do.
we have a motion and a second to approve it. Would you like me to go and call for a vote? I'm gonna do that. Go ahead and call for a vote, and, you guys got the motion on the table. Would you like to change your motion?
I'd like to change my motion to table this item.
Okay. Ms. Garza, you went first? Is that affirmative?
I mean, it can't be one without the other. Well, I know, but you can
Let's
say
go ahead.
no. Or if you, I mean, if y'all wanna vote yes on this, I mean, it's,
You have, Ms. Garza, you have the option.
I said, I'll go ahead and table it.
Okay, there's a motion on the table to change your motion to move to table. Is there a second?
Second.
I don't know how I need to do that.
you know what?
Do I have to get the same ones?
Let's do it.
Okay, there's a second to table this.
No.
Well, she has a motion to table, so we're
Okay.
going with,
She's got the motion to table, okay? Okay, she originally did the motion to approve, you did the motion the second to approve it, okay? So now, you don't want to, Bobby, do I need to get, to change the motion, do I need to get the same person that seconded it? We're adjusting our motion. All right, council, hold on, council, just a minute.
It'd be easier,
Council, hold on, please,
it'd be easier if you want to table, to have the original motion fail, and then have a new motion to table. So there was a motion to approve,
Okay,
was there a second?
yeah, originally,
There
yes.
was-
If there was a
originally
second,
yes.
you call for a vote, and if the vote fails, then
Okay.
you can entertain a motion to table.
Okay.
And if it passes, it
If
passes.
it passes, then it passes.
Okay, all right.
But we did that a while ago too, when we reversed our thing, so that we did the other one wrong.
Well, we didn't get it, a little bit confused. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We've got a motion on the table and a second to approve this item. I'm gonna call for a vote. Please raise your hand. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Motion passes. Any opposed?
against,
Any opposed? We
write
have
that down.
We have
Because I'm
two.
telling you, this is
Okay.
too small.
5 to 2. All right. Thank
Next
you.
time you
And
do
I'm
it,
gonna tell you,
you'll
I
look
told
into
you
stuff, so you
Council.
won't get
What?
200,000.
All right, council, that's the process. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're-
All right, moving on. Next
I'll
item.
tell you,
We will,
I'm gonna tell
we
you
will.
next time we do agenda, so
All right.
you can research
Thank
that
you,
since
I
council.
did,
Moving on.
right there, and I saw a video.
Council, moving on. Discuss and consider an act on authorizing the city manager to negotiate the termination of the Texas Department of Agriculture grant agreement such and such wastewater treatment grant improvements.
Yes.
Action item,
Second.
got a motion by Councilman Trevino, I got a second by Councilwoman A. Garza. City manager, you have the floor.
Council, this is a grant that was awarded to us, I think back in 2022, 2023. It's been a long process. We finally went out for bids on 2 occasions, and the bids just kept getting higher and higher. This time, what we're asking for is just to go ahead and, they've done some work on the actual, what needs to get done. The construction part's what's taking the longest. So right now, we're looking at paying about half of that grant, which is about $250,000. That's not the budgeted amount we had initially anticipated. But what this project is actually for a bar screen. We would love to have it and move forward, but right now, because of some of the budget things we have to work around, we're asking to to terminate this. We do have a design, we're gonna keep the design, for this bar screen, but we don't wanna, we can't, well, not that we can't, I don't recommend that we go, and do the construction on it, just because of the lag time and the amount of the bar screen. It's gone up, almost 2 or 3-fold than what we initially anticipated. So we wanna do it at a later time when we have available resources. I'm preparing right now to take some hits on the fund balance. What we're talking about, the $1.2 million we talked about earlier, and then we have some other expenses that we're gonna have to look at this coming year, that we're gonna have to absorb. Yep. That's it. That's all I have. All right, Mayor.
All right, is there any questions? We've got a motion and a second, I'll call for a vote, all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. At this time, folks, exciting moment, we get to go to executive session, it's 8:39, please leave your cell phones here, and we will be right back.